All right, next question says, although I love RTS's approach to training and more generally powerlifting's approach to strength training, I'm not planning to compete in powerlifting. As such, I would like to substitute a few of the movements that I think I'm weak in, like overhead press variations or body parts that don't get trained much from powerlifting, like calves and biceps, etc. Do you have any advice on how to make these substitutions? Should I substitute overhead press for a second bench day? Second squat and deadlift? Should I just make use of off days for things like arms and calves? Well, I think a lot of this goes back to goals and goal setting. What's our reason for being here? Assuming, you're not completely cryptic about that in your email, which is definitely useful. So what I would say is, I would continue to make use of good bang for the buck exercises. So things like pull-ups are going to be good for you because it's going to be additional back work in addition to bicep work, things like that. So when it comes to working your arms, I think the bench and all the pressing is going to take care of your triceps to a pretty significant degree, unless you're trying to get like bodybuilder style detail, which if you are, that's fine. I just would say that this program is probably not the best for that. You can definitely make use of some of your off days to help you with that, but that's not really the way it's designed. Assuming that that's not what you're after, as far as arms go, the only missing component is biceps. So let's just make sure that we're doing pull-ups and rows and things like that, and you should get enough of an arm stimulus to see some improvement, and then it'll be up to you to decide if it's enough of an improvement, if you want to see more, and how to get that. But for now, probably just increasing the amount of pulling exercises that you do would be enough to get things going. So one thing that I would suggest is that you could do less deadlifting, because if you don't really care about your deadlift 1RM that much, you can reduce the amount of deadlifting that you're doing, and I don't think that's a crime. You're still going to be training your legs with squats and all the other work that goes along with that, so it shouldn't be a problem. So you can replace some of that deadlifting with rowing and pulling and just back work in general. I think that's kind of a logical place for it. And you mentioned subbing out your second bench day for some overhead pressing. I think that's also a good idea. As far as calves, I would hit it at the end of the session, hit it on your off days or something like that. But that's just me. As far as arms, I think that's going to be mostly covered, at least in the beginning, if you increase your back work, your pulling exercises. So that's kind of how I would get started, and see how that feels for a month or two. And after that, we can decide if you need further adjustments.